Okay, it's been a while since I did this. Just finished a test from work that I had to retake because I didn't pass. They want 70% or up for each section of two. I'm taking a test, and it was quite interesting to observe the questions. Some of them were real. The first part was about real situation, what would happen at school, what would you do. So those are the procedures. What is an ALT or a teacher of English to do at the school, and like how to act and what to do, how to be helpful and assisting the teachers and blah blah good stuff. And then the second part was about how just pure grammar, like what do you teach in grade 4 and 3 and 4, and what do you teach in grade 5 and 6 and junior high. Like junior high is not my expertise, but oh boy. Anyways, so that was interesting, but I took picture of two of the questions that to me were irrelevant. One question was like, well, if you woke up in the morning after a heavy drinking night, would you use a vehicle, or like for what would you use a vehicle? And that's an irrelevant question to me because I don't really drink alcohol per se, and so to me it's irrelevant. Like I'm always sober, so I could drive anytime. So if I don't know what to answer to that question, so I answered I will stay away from the wheel for the day. I don't know if that's the right answer or not, but whatever, that's what I would do. But I don't fall into that category. And there was another one I took picture of. Yeah, not to mention the fact that in the email they sent me was saying you don't have to answer the questions for the junior high, because obviously I'm just elementary school, so I don't really know what they teach in junior high, like what is the focus there. I could assume, of course, but it's not like I don't really know. So those questions were kind of like answered by my common sense of what I would think they would do, but I don't really know. So, and yeah. Anyway, so I don't really know, but it was interesting. So I had to take that test in July. I think it was assigned at the end of July, like when the summer vacation was starting, but I missed it. I didn't really. I promise I didn't really see the email. So I looked back and I saw it afterwards, but it was too late. So it was not bad intentions like to ignore them or something. It was just really I missed it. And so they rescheduled it on the 9th of August. But since my baby girl had two little surgeries on the 3rd, the 9th was a week. The following week we had to have a checkup, like a an appointment for her to see the doctor to see how she's healing. And so I could have asked my husband to do it. He probably was willing to do it. He could probably ask somebody to cover for him at work and do it, so I could take that test from 1 p.m. to 2:30 p.m. But I was like, I can take her. And so my company goes and said, well, you're not going to be paid for that hour and a half in August because we have to reschedule it. So they rescheduled it to, I think, 2 days ago. And then the results came and I didn't pass it, so I have to do it now again. And so all those emails have been coming that they will deduct from my salary for August, or like that there is another one. But I didn't respond to any of those emails. I don't know I have to respond to that. So this morning I get a call from this lady after I dropped the babies to school, to the nursery school, and she was the scheduler, the one that communicates between me and my schools. And she goes, well, did you get my emails? I was like, yeah, the one that I have to take a test today. Yeah, I got the email. So I was like, well, this is what's gonna happen. And so I was like, look, nobody told me from start when I started working, because I'm coming back to the company. I've been working for them for almost 5 years before the twins were born. So I had a break of 2 years and I came back. But in those 2 years things happened, and so my supervisor, the manager of the branch, of this particular branch of the company, he explained to me things about retirement and like insurance, and how when you're over 40 they get like extra for insurance or whatever, like all those little details he explained to me. But he didn't tell me about this test. Nobody told me about this test, not even the other AOTs. Nobody told me about this test. So I mentally, when you don't know anything about tests that is coming up, you wouldn't, it's not there. It's not there, and even in the back of your head. So when they shot that email about this test, I was like, I thought it was somewhere in the future, and they didn't really explain to me. They didn't give me a date. So I read an email about this test and how it's going to be in 2 parts, and how you have to have your camera on in front of the computer and blah blah blah. But then there was not a specific date for it, so I totally ignored it. I completely forgot about it. So whenever they send email with the whatever the date, specific date, or like the link you have to go to start this, I missed it. And it's not like something that I would say is one of the priorities in my life. And so that's how it went under the bridge. But my point is, I told the schedule, this lady this morning that, and I told her, if somebody told me that there's something big coming, I would prepare for it. And then she mumbo jumbo like basic, like small talk. And then I was like, look, if I would do anything to do, like on the top of the game in my job, I will do everything. But you also have to understand I have 5 kids, and 5 kids means like, unlike other AOTs, single young people who just came to Japan after college to just experience Japan and learn and teach English, whatever, for a year or two. Unlike those people, I am in August, when we have summer vacation and we don't go to school, I don't sit around with my legs up on the couch all day and just watch Netflix or whatever. I have 5 kids, period. And she's like, well, I understand that, and I have 3 kids myself at home too, and I have to take 2 tests as well, like I guess company related, like, I guess I don't know what's her thing, but she said she also had to take 2 tests, and she studies from 6 to 7 in the morning. She wakes up earlier and studies, and then she has to take those tests, so she understands me. And I really liked her approach. She tried to reach out to me, instead of like, snapping at me and telling me, well, we have to do what I have to do because that's what you're hired for, or whatever. That's not the Japanese way of doing. Like, she tried to reach out and to understand me, and it just felt really good. I was so overwhelmed because this morning I was driving the babies to school, and I picked up my phone after I dropped them off. When I turned on the engine to go back home, I checked my email, because something told me inside, like, I know what that something is, but this subconsciousness tells you, check the time. And it was today, and today was also the day when I had to, that test is from 1 to 2:30 p.m. period. And it has a timing on the website, whatever you open there, and it times you out when I finish earlier than the time finishes, but like, anyway, so it's like a set time. And my oldest boy was asking me to drop him off to sleep over exactly at 1 o'clock. And so when I came home after dropping the babies, I was like, well, can I drop you off like 15 minutes earlier so I can come back home and set up the computer and start the test? And so he had to call his friend and ask him if it's okay to come 15 minutes earlier. And so my boy was saying, wow, that really screws everything up, huh? You failed the first time the test. So they were scheduled, and that means we have to tell him, and I have to tell my friends. So it involves lots of people. So that was really good observation of him. I was really like, wow, he observes that. He's into the little details. So I was like, yeah, I'm sorry, I couldn't do that the first time. So he's like, oh, it's okay, but it just takes lots of people, huh? I'm like, yeah. One little thing can mess up the schedule of everybody and everything. So yeah, so that was really quite an experience today. And yeah, so that's what's happened today. And it was just interesting. We have 1 more week of summer vacation, and we start back in September, going back to work and school and all that craziness. The kids are asked next Tuesday, which is still summer vacation, but to go with their school uniforms and submit their homeworks, most of it, and then come back home and just enjoy the rest of the summer vacation until September 1st. Yeah, other than that, it's just other than that, life is like just me and the kids at home, and me and the kids at home, really, literally. It's really, that's how it is. And in the past couple of weeks, I've been thinking about, I tend to focus on other people more. I tend to focus on the kids and their needs. I tend to go the extra mile and drive them here and there to get them this and that they need for school and whatever, and meals that they enjoy, and at the same time try to manage all the finances I have for the month to fit into those wishes and wants. And some vacations, that means more ice cream, more watermelons. Those watermelons are so costly in Japan. Peaches are out of reach. It's just one peach 600, and I don't understand that. But it is what it is. So I've been trying to ask this myself. What do you like? What do you enjoy, Boriana? What do you stand for? What do you want to accomplish? Like, what makes you happy? And quite honestly, I started digging deep, and I realized that nothing that is so far in my life, besides the fact that I'm a mom of 5 kids, nothing that I ever imagined in my head as a young lady is what I'm right now living in and having and being and accomplishing. It's just, wow, life throws fireballs at you, and you hope you're fireproof, and it breaks you and bends you and smashes you and squishes you and melts you down into a million pieces, and you become something that you didn't expect you would ever be. I know our choices are what brings us to where we are, and I have to say that my choice to be a mom is a noble choice. It's a blessing. It's a learning process, and I'll never really exchange that to any. No, that's exactly what I wanted to be. But I always imagined myself not being alone in this, not standing alone as a parent, because that's what my mom did. And so I didn't want to be like that. I wanted to be loved and love in my return, and I wanted to raise my kids in a happy family where parents stand together and they're on the same page about things. And look, I know people are different, especially the mindset of a lady and the mindset of a man is different. I read this recently, some pages of this very famous book about men are from Mars and Women Are from Venus. I read some pages from it, and this guy who wrote the book suggests you write yourself love letters and why they're important. And one of the reasons he mentioned was because when you write, it's like writing a journal, really, in a form of a letter, or like it doesn't have to be in the form of a letter, but when you write a love letter to yourself, that is the most truthful feeling that you have. You don't hide anything. You just spell it out. And that's how you truly really feel. And when you write to yourself and maybe go back and reflect on those feelings that what you've been through, it's kind of like a self-therapy, and it helps. I mean, even the fact that you just pour it out, it's not inside here anymore, it helps. So I've had some journals here and there writing through the years, and what I can see is in generally how I feel even now about it, like for the past, for since I've been raising kids in a foreign country, I was not a happy person. And it wasn't really it doesn't mean I was depressed and stuck all the time in like misery. No, there were happy moments as well, and especially the milestones of the kids seeing them growing in front of me and accomplishing things, and getting rewards, and being the first in marathon, or anything, like their martial arts concert, piano concerts, everything, all those things, even the smallest things, like when we just talk one-on-one conversation, or we have like a little date with this boy or that boy when they were growing up, just me and them shopping, like certain things I do with my first boy, certain things we do with my second boy, certain things we do with my third boy, and I know their strengths. All those things I value, appreciate, and will never replace for anything. But that whole me as smiling person, I imagine it was probably really, really enormously hard to hide what's really inside behind that smile and that happy attitude. And you know, it piles up and it piles up and it piles up and it piles up, and until I have a friend who recently just told me that, and I really agree with that. She said, "Do you know why you feel empty when you just finish a relationship, when you just finish an experience that was miserable for you? Why you feel empty?" And she's like, because not because that person was inside of your heart and then it just left and you're empty. No, it's because you've had so much love to give, and they were taking and taking and taking and taking until there's nothing left anymore. And so it puts things in perspective, completely different way of seeing why you feel so empty. And I agree with that, because it ties up to this other book that, who wrote, I don't remember the name of the person, but about the 5 love languages that there are. Like some people like spending time together, showing love, or buying presents, or there are 5 ways of expressing love, I guess. I don't know. I would agree to disagree, but basically, if you don't have somebody to fill in your tank, there is no much you can give back to that person. It's like being in a partnership is unfortunately, I don't know, it's two-sided. Just like when we make covenants with Heavenly Father, when we go in those waters of baptism and we promise certain things, He promises back certain things. And um with God, there is no joke there. It's, you make covenants with Him, you keep those covenants, whether it's hard or not, you keep them, because God is not no joke. However, with people, it seems like nowadays, especially, like people, oh, it doesn't work, let's just fix that with, just get to the next relationship, get to the next relationship, and next relationship, and until you feel like a used napkin and just put in the trash, and not really much self-worth there anymore. So that's where the Savior comes in his role, because He knows we make mistakes, He knows we're not perfect, He knows we have struggles, and He knows our childhood background, He knows our traumas, and our where is our happy spot, where is our happy space, and He knows all that. But He also knew that we're gonna make mistakes, so that's why He came, and He overcame death and pain and all that, so that we can be saved. And you know the more I live in this world, the more the atonement of Jesus Christ makes more sense to me, because without it, why we were born, like, doesn't make any sense to me. And we do make mistakes, we're humans, and I will never know why that was so stupid, and trusting into the hands of men instead of the hand of the Lord. And I should have been more sensitive to the guidance of the Spirit in my life, and seeing those red flags along the way earlier, so that I have to get to where I am right now. But maybe I was supposed to get all those experiences to where I am right now, so that I can in the future be using those experiences for the better, for the better of this, I don't know, world. I don't know. I don't really know. And I would know probably later in life. Some things take years. Just like Joseph was sold in Egypt. Was it? I just listened to it. Like good things happen. Good things happen slowly, and we have to be patient about it. And it took Joseph, sold in Egypt, so many years to he turned out to be the person who saved his nation, just like Esther in the Old Testament. They had hardship as a person, as a human in their personal life, sure, but they're also used as vessels of the purposes that Heavenly Father has for this world. And I would rather very much be like that. I would love to be like a Joseph and then like an Esther, and have whatever I have to go through, so that his purposes can be accomplished. It's amazing how recently I connect with people that who tell me that it's not a coincidence, and I don't believe in coincidences either. And it's just beautiful and amazing to just see it, how life just opens up in front of you. It's like, wow. Sometimes I think the Lord makes us believe, or like helps us, lets us believe that we're in charge, when really truly He is in charge. If we let Him, and He lets us to believe that sometimes we are in charge. But I feel ultimately it's Him, our choices, my choices. But ultimately it's him. He leads me clearly to the direction where he wants me to, so I would follow. And whether I am just with my 5 kids, and I would, they're my life, they're my focus, they're my everything, and I want them to be happy, but I want them to also not be always just happy. They cannot, it's not possible for wishing happy, just pure happiness to somebody. That's not how life works, that's not how it is. And happy, you know, happy only if you know what's not happy. You know you're healthy when you compare it to when you're not. So, and you know, a sunny day, and appreciate every part of it when after you've had a few rainy and stormy days. So it's okay to have oppositions. It's just what matters is who is there for you to help you, lift you up when you're in the low. Unfortunately, when that's not the closest person in your family, then it's a bit sad, but it's still, it's okay. It's okay. Because I know who's really on my side all the time. And I pray and believe that I would follow the Lord anywhere He wants me to be, anything He wants me to become. In a world full of confusion and hatred and missiles and threatenings for wars and war activities and natural disasters, one thing is for sure always: God is in charge. It's His timing, not mine. All I can do is try my best every day and teach my kids to be closer to Him, sensitive to the Spirit, and then follow and act on it. I'm very grateful for my kids so much. And I'm grateful for friends and church leaders and family helping me to go through this loneliness for so many years. So many years. Okay, that's it.